you look at their team and you say, oh, Aaron Judge, you get the best of Judge, the best of Soto. We even talked yesterday about Soto, and you and other callers were talking about how Soto's not as great as everybody thinks. Okay, well, if that's the case, and I happen to love Juan Soto, but if he's not as great as everybody thinks, the top superstar player in baseball, you look at Aaron Judge, a guy who's often been hurt. You look at Anthony Rizzo, a guy who was hurt last year. The question marks about Rizzo. LeMahieu, a guy who the Yankees are high on to be their leadoff hitter. Another guy, slow start to the spring, but older, often injured. They have young, unproven guys, whether it is Dominguez, whether it is Austin Wells. You know, you want to talk about the rotation with Carlos Rodon? I feel like the Yankees are getting a lot of hype, and I understand why to a certain extent. But just be careful here, because while this team could win a World Series, I don't know if they're as good as everybody seems to think. On paper, it looks great if everything goes well. You know how this works. It doesn't always go well. If you start having injuries or rookies or youngsters that don't live up to the expectation, this Yankee season can go sideways here.
I actually got to tell you, I think you might be right. I don't think they're necessarily as good as some people are putting them out on paper. I think they're going to be better is what I think is going to happen. I think the Yankees are going to be amazing this year. And it's not about some, 98 wins. Listen, here's the bottom line. Yanks are on the short list for being a World Series team. Take it, leave it, process it, whatever. Let me give you a little bit of a different
They were a year ago,
slant.
too.
Yeah, but not as serious for me. And I can only judge myself as a barometer. Like last year, I was pumped for the season.
Right.
All right, I'm expecting low 90s, and maybe you get lucky, maybe you steal something, maybe you mess around and you get to the World Series. This year, while it's not about, before the middle of March even hits us, getting on the air and saying, I think the Yanks will win the World Series. I think they've got a chance to, as much as, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 other teams in baseball. But I'll summarize it this way, because I think that this will really encompass my strongest thoughts. The Yankees right now, and I'll use on paper, because that's what we have right now, it's paper. The Yankees, I think, they had the best setup that they've had in 30 years. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to have the best season they've had in 30 years, but I look at the Yankees, I see multiple absolute superstars. And the stuff with Soto, just to be clear. Now, and it is interesting. If we wind up stepping back into that today, I'm fine with it. What I said yesterday was, I just don't want it to get hijacked.
Right.
Juan Soto is an absolute transformative hitter. He's not an all-around superstar. He's a great hitter who's deficient in other things. And, you could dive into metrics, you could disagree, whatever. That's my opinion. And it's backed up by fact, but whatever.
Well, he's also not just a guaranteed lock to make this team a World Series team, as
Understood.
you saw with the Padres, who were also loaded. So I love Soto.
Yep.
I think it was a great move, but it's not like that one move puts the Yankees over the top.
No,
There's more
I
to
agree,
it.
Sal. I totally agree with that. But when I say that the Yankees have, a layer of top transcendent talent. They've got the best pitcher in baseball. They've got arguably the best all-around player in baseball in Judge, and they've got arguably the best hitter in baseball, certainly one of them, Juan Soto. So that's exciting, and that is real stuff right there. But I think what makes it even more real, I think, this year, and why I'm comfortable saying they might be set up best in 30 years here, is that the younger players it is a perfect combination of established stars and young, bouncy kids, some of whom won't have an impact right away. I don't even mean Spencer Jones. Dominguez is hurt. We know that.
Well, you're talking about Dominguez, Wells.
That's about Volpe. Yeah, Volpe,
Right,
Dominguez, and Austin Wells, who I'm very high on. You're not, you want to see more. I get that.
I mean, that's part
He's a
of the
lefty
argument.
stick, something they haven't had forever. Behind the dish with power.
I get it, but just because they have lefty bats don't mean those bats are going to be good. And just because, you may expect Austin Wells to be great or the Yankees may expect it, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, there are question marks here. When you look at this team as a World Series team, right? Generally, you go in, there's more of a track record. And the guys that have been here a while, their track record has been injuries or getting older. LeMahieu, Rizzo, Stanton, Judge, all have a track record, a recent track record of failing one way or another. Obviously, Judge not about performance. It's about staying healthy. Rizzo's been about both health and performance. LeMahieu about both health and performance. Stanton about both health and performance. So combine that with the unknowns of Dominguez, who's played exactly 7 games coming off an injury. We don't know when we're going to see him. Maybe see him May, whatever it may be, but we don't know what he's going to be. Austin Wells don't know what he's going to be. Anthony Volpe, is he going to take the next step? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. That's an awful lot of question marks, and I haven't even gotten into the starting rotation yet. That's an awful lot of question marks going into a year for a team that has World Series aspirations.
Name the perfect baseball team right now.
There aren't any.
Precisely.
But I'll tell you this. I don't have a question mark about Garrett Cole. I know what he is.
Yeah.
He's the best pitcher in baseball. He's going to go out there every 5th day, alpha male. He is the ace, unquestioned. And now, I'm not saying they need everybody like that, but That's a known commodity, no doubt. Matter of fact, I'll give you Juan Soto as well. I know what Juan Soto is going to be. I really believe Juan Soto is going to have an MVP-type year. No reason to believe otherwise. All right, maybe he's had one down year in his career, and even that is not like a bad year. But Juan Soto's going to produce, so known commodity. You can't sit here and guarantee Judge is going to play 150 games.
I'm not.
140 games.
I'm not.
I don't know what Dominguez is going to be. I'll give you even Verdugo. Like, Verdugo, to me, is solid, established major leaguer, and I think he's going to be solid here for the Yanks.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, he's also going to bat 6th or 7th.
Right, well, that's what I mean. But those type guys you could rely on.
Yep.
But the other guys, a lot of them, LeMahieu could be up, could be down. Volpe could be up, could be down. Wells, no idea. Rizzo, no idea. I think Gleyber's another guy you could count on his production. So they have some of those type guys. And I'm using them as examples to tell you that it's not just about star power. It's about guys that you can trust to be consistent. And I think the Yankees have a lot of guys that you can't trust to be consistent, whether it be performance, inexperience, or health.
All right, so let me ask you this. Do you think the Yanks are a playoff team right now on paper?
I mean,
okay.
but that also should not be I'm
celebrated?
Well,
it's expected.
But it's not about them, although I think they would be a playoff team anyway. But it's more, to me, when you say a playoff team, it's more because of the expanded playoffs in baseball.
Oh, well, fair enough. So let me just go through a little checklist here.
But they're a legit playoff team.
No, I got you. So, again, if the premise by Sal today is that, the Yankees could be slightly overrated, Yankees could be more vulnerable, which, by the way, anything's possible. I mean, look at the Knicks' injuries. Now, Knicks are starting to get a little healthy now, but you never know in a long season, and a few of their players have had injury histories. I get that. So,
right.
But just a quick checklist. So, yes. So I want to put this down in the proper column.
Yeah.
Sal says, yes, he thinks the Yankees are a playoff team.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe that they will win 90 or more games? Because you don't have to be a
think they'll
playoff
be
team.
right.
You can win 85. Are they 90-plus wins or more, yes or no?
I mean,
what do you think right now, yes or no?
probably, but here's the thing. I would say high 80s, low 90s.
High 80s? Are you out of your mind?
High 80s,
Did
low
you
90s,
start hitting those
88,
surf
89.
sides yet?
No, well,
high 80s?
What's wrong with that? That's
That
a playoff
stinks.
team. That's a playoff team. 90, 91, what?
They're not winning high 80s
High
this year.
80s, low 90s.
No, well, I mean, but the high 80s
Here's what I would say.
unreasonably low.
I think the better way to say it would be, and we've had this conversation before, but let's have it again. If everything goes well, or like 90% of the things go well, they could be a 100-win team.
Yes.
Let's say, right? They have the ability and the potential to be that.
Yes.
Where in comparison, others don't. You want to reference them? That's fine. Other teams.
Okay, so that's the optimal side. But
Right.
say if they're faced with a litany of injuries, what's their floor?
Well, you saw 82 last year.
Well, yeah, but that was without Juan Soto,
okay.
without Verdugo, without. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but those guys don't, to me, make that big of a difference.
If the
it's
Yankees-
a lot of the same cast.
Okay, but if the Yankees had, I know Verdugo's not Barry Bonds with
Right.
year 5 with the Pirates in left field. I got that, but Verdugo is a good player.
Agreed.
Okay, so if the Yankees had Verdugo playing left field last year instead of Gallo and Hicks
how many
or
wins? Yeah, how many wins do you think?
without mercy,
3 wins? What do you think?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, fine.
If Aaron Judge doesn't run into a wall,
Well,
that's 5 or 6 more. Then not his fault.
But
and if the Yankees had Juan Soto,
yeah.
I mean,
how many wins Soto then?
well, if the Yankees had Soto and Verdugo a year ago, they're a 90-win team.
Okay.
Even if Judge misses 2 months like he did.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go to that extent, but you're
I
also. Yeah, first of all, we don't know that that's the case, but I'll give you they've upgraded a little
we
bit
don't
with
know
Verdugo.
anything about what we're talking about right now. You're bringing up the negative, which you don't know, and I'm bringing up the positive, which I don't know. The answer's probably somewhere in between.
All I'm saying is that a lot of this Yankees team is the same as it was last year.
I mean,
Rodon. Well, what do you mean? It is. You just gave me the changes with Soto and Verdugo, right? Marcus Stroman's going to be up and down. Like, there's no guarantee Marcus Stroman's going to be any more impactful or better than Michael King was.
Appreciate it.
There's no guarantee that that's going to be the case with him. So you look at what this Yankee team can be, sure. But I feel like my issue is the question marks. There are a lot of question marks.
I got you.
That I think are, certainly you are looking at it like they're all going to turn up.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is.
Well, you think Wells is going to be great? You think Dominguez is going to be great?
No. Hold on. Time out. Great is not the word that I'm using. Contributors and productive and ascending interesting players is how I describe those guys. That's a big difference from saying they're great.
But what
Can
if
I
they
get back
don't?
to my checklist? I like
Yeah,
my quick,
okay,
my
good.
little checklist here.
Go ahead.
So just a quick recap. There's only one more. All right. So Sal said yes, he believes they're a playoff team. Yeah, he wavered a little bit, but eventually he came around. He said, yes, begrudgingly, they're probably a 90-win team. Okay, to me, the conversation's over because that's all I'm looking for right now. Unless you are a complete bozo who knows nothing about baseball and is just a sideshow circus and just want to get clicks or whatever, who's coming on the air saying that anybody's guaranteed to win the World Series on March, whatever today is? I don't even know what today is.
Did you think the Yankees were going to be
whatever today is?
You think the Yankees were going to be a playoff team last year?
Did I think the Yankees were going to be a playoff team last year? Okay.
We all know the answer.
Well, no, but I didn't work with you last year, so you might not know my answer. Don't assume that you know my answer because you were by yourself and I was with Tiki.
Oh, you thought the Yankees weren't going to make the playoffs?
I'm going to tell you what I thought, and you could Google this. We could fact check this stuff. Sometimes digital stuff makes us look bad with the costumes and the doink. Right. Sometimes it makes us look good. Go Google Tierney, Yankees, Mets, Tiki and Tierney, whatever you want. Find out what I said this time last year. I said, I believe one of the New York teams will not make the playoffs, and I believe that there is a real chance both will not.
Right.
I did not like this Yankee team last year. I was crushing Cashman.
It's the same team.
You got Juan Soto.
Oh, okay, great.
And a left fielder.
Doesn't make a difference.
What's that?
One player doesn't make that big of a difference.
And by the way, Sal, can I throw this into
you know that?
In baseball, I'm going to give you that, but it's not one. It's two. It's three. It's four.
It's not. And that's kind of my point. Is that. Man, yeah, and I look at this team as the ceiling being the highest of the highs where they could win a World Series. The reality is it also could go the way that it went last year, and not enough people are talking about that. We're talking about the upside. The reality is there could be a downside to this, too.
There could always be a downside.
And while it may, but it's realistic for a team that should be, the Yankees just pencil in LeMahieu, and they say, well, he's going to be great. We think LeMahieu's going to be fine. He looks healthy, blah, 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 blah.
I don't say that.
They say, well, Rodon looks great. He's in good shape. The velo is up. He's lost some weight. And again, we've seen him getting tattooed in the spring. Already, it's not going as well as you'd hope. Soto, of course, nobody's going to question him, and even Verdugo to a lesser extent. Okay, but we also don't know about injuries, which happens to this team all the time.
I understand that, and that's been a problem, an epidemic for this team. But see, this is why I love this guy. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing.
What?
So hold on, I'm going to tell you. You don't even know that you're doing it, although I'm sure on some sadistic level, of course you do. So you point out the things that are going wrong so far for the Yankees in camp. How about the things that are going, I don't know, right?
Like?
Did you see what Austin Wells did yesterday?
Oh, okay.
Are you paying attention to that stuff?
Right, but
not just the bad stuff, the good stuff. And the other thing, Sal, I want to get this in. This is really important, right? Independent of messing around and having fun. And I know you believe what you're saying, and I know that you know that I believe what I'm saying here. But I don't think I've ever seen this in all my years watching. I swear to God. Yankees and the Mets combined have either baseball team in New York had 33% of their lineup offensively in contract years. Now, I can't quantify that. I don't know what that means, but it generally means good stuff. Soto, contract year. Verdugo, contract year. Torres, contract year. You don't think that those guys are bringing it?
No.
Then you pepper and Judge. I mean, come on, dude.
Nobody would knock Judge's performance. You would knock the ability to stay healthy. It's unknown. And if he goes down again, you saw it last year. Yeah, they're better equipped to handle it with Juan Soto. But then all of a sudden, you got more reliant on Stanton. You trust Giancarlo Stanton?
Notice I haven't mentioned his name.
Yeah.
He is immaterial to me.
He's going to be in the starting lineup on opening day.
I understand that.
And until Dominguez comes back, and maybe a factor if somebody else goes down.
Well, yes and no. There's other things you could do. Now, this is a little bit weedsy and probably, not as sexy, but if Stanton's a stiff, and I got news for you, he might be.
Right.
Then what you do is you put Grisham in center, and you GH, and you could DH some Aaron Judge. There's ways to work. You can catch Trevino and DH Austin Wells to get through 2 or 3 weeks of somebody languishing or somebody hurt or whatever. Put it this way, there are a lot more answers and big ones on the Yankees than questions.
BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Joe is on Staten Island. What's up, Joe?
Sal, you're out of your mind. It's addition by subtraction, too. You don't have the dead weight of Hicks and Donaldson out there, right? Mathematically, Rodon's got to be better. It couldn't get any worse than last year.
How? How's that? Have you watched him in spring training? Mathematically, he's got to be better. He stinks. It's over for him.
What is it?
It's over.
He's your
now.
number 2 starter.
It's over.
Yeah, I felt this way before.
It's over, so it's over.
For Rodon?
Over.
Yeah, I said this before.
But
now
just
I watch him in
over.
spring. Yeah, Rodon's done. Done here.
We got him on the
So
record.
you're telling me
You've had me on the record since last
That's
year.
right, just making sure.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he's going to pitch to an 80 ERA this year?
I'm telling you he's not going to get the job done this year. He's your number 2 pitcher.
You're telling? Oh, no, that's not what I'm asking. Is he going to be better than last year, or is he going to be worse?
The same. He'll be the same.
I'll answer mine, Joe. Joe, statistically, Joe, hold on, Joe, one sec, Joe.
I don't want your money.
He will be statistically.
I want yours.
Better.
You're not getting it.
There's no question. Rodon is going to be better. Next question.
Yeah, scared money don't make money, Sal. Put your money where your mouth is.
Well, we're not making bets with listeners, Joe.
Scared
Come
money
on,
don't
dude.
make money. Get lost.
What are you talking about, Joe? I can start doing that. We got enough bets with me and you. We can start betting everybody out on Staten Island.
I'm not betting you. How about this? Call me back when Rodon's good, or if he fails, and then we can have it out on the air.
There you go.
And I'll give you your credit. If you say, you know what, Joe in Staten Island, Sal, I told you Rodon was going to be good. Ha, ha, ha. I'll let you have your last laugh. That's better than money. I'll give you credit. I'll say, you know what, Joe, I was wrong. You were right. But until then, I want to see it. Right now, the facts are Rodon sucked last year. Rodon sucks so far this spring. And I believed at the end of last year he was done. Actually, I believed in the middle of last year he was never any good. So I'm certainly sticking to that. I don't think he's any good. And that is part of my whole point, PT. You say there's more answers than questions. I say Rodon is a major question mark. I say Marcus Stroman is a question mark. I say Nestor Cortez, who I like, is still a question mark. I say DJ LeMahieu is a question mark. I say Giancarlo Stanton is a question mark. I say Austin Wells is a question mark. I say Dominguez is a question mark. I mean, do I need to go any further?
You could.
How many more question marks?
It seems like you're going to find about 20 more, so keep going.
Now, I like Volpe, but he still is a question. Just
so
because
you're not done.
Him.
Keep going.
Come
on. I knew you weren't done. Come on.
Aaron Judge health.
Here we go.
Aaron Judge health. Question
Here
mark.
we go. Keep going.
Come on.
I don't know. Garrett Cole, a year older. Question mark.
No question mark there. I told you. Garrett Cole, you lock him in. I trust him. You can't tell me there.
Let me give you something that's not a question mark that I think that you always fail to calculate. Okay, so the Yankees offered $30 million a year, 300 total. Not enough. Okay, didn't get Yamamoto, but they offered some money. They offered $165-ish million for Blake Snell. The only real offer on the market. Snell's yet to nibble. All right, maybe he won't. Maybe somebody jumps in last second. 1 year, 2 year deal, opt out, something crazy. It's a new trend. Maybe the Yankees don't want to do that when you lose comp picks for an opt out situation. Okay, but understand this: the Yankees put $465 million in front of two guys to take. Which now they didn't take it. I understand that, but you know what that means? When it's time to upgrade at the trade deadline, they will.
Right. Okay,
bank it.
That's great. They will what?
Bank it. That means whatever hole that they got to fill, they're going for it this year.
Like
so you don't think that they're going for it. So you don't think that they're going for it this year.
Just like
you really, but you don't think.
They said all in. They didn't get Blake Snell. Where's the number 2 starter?
Where's the number 2 offer for Blake Snell? Nobody's even given a contract besides the Yankees.
Doesn't matter. He's not a Yankee. I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm worried about the Yankees. They said all in. Did they go all in? Did they get Josh Hader? No. Did they get Corbin Burns? No. Did they get Blake Snell? No. So,
but yet, even with all that, you still concede begrudgingly that the Yankees will win 90-plus games, which for me on March 8th is satisfactory. I'll take it, and I'll sit back, and I will watch. Now, you're not going to be wrong with everything. I'm going to give you that.
We're talking about World
You are
Series.
going to be wrong on at least 3 of the 4 things that you just rifle through. You're going to be wrong on Volpe as a question mark.
Hold on a second.
You're going to be wrong on Austin Wells.
I said I like Volpe.
I understand that, but you still said he's a question mark.
He is.
I understand.
That's not my opinion or yours. It is a fact.
Well, but no, it's not, though, Sal. It's only a fact if you take it your way.
No, it's not.
Because I'm going to hit you with facts. Can I give you 3 facts?
Yeah.
1, fact, Gold Glover. 2, fact, 20 bombs. 3, facts, 20 steals. Next.
Yeah.
I mean, those are pretty good facts.
200 batting average.
Okay.
Oh, you expecting him to hit 200 again this year?
No.
Oh, what are you expecting?
250.
But that's a question mark. We don't know if he's going to improve his average or not. And that's my point. I told you, Gleyber Torres, we know what he's going to do. He does the same thing.
He's got 20-something home runs and a 275 and be one of the better second basemen, even though I don't love him. That's irrefutable. Great say he's good.
Because he does it consistently.
Yes.
Verdugo, I feel like you're going to get
281 lifetime hitter, postseason success, and an attitude they needed.
Correct. Garrett Cole, you know what you're going to get.
The best.
Juan Soto.
Insane.
You know what you're going to get. Everywhere
Judge,
else.
the best.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep going.
How many games Judge played last year?
I don't know. I forget how many. Top of my head, what did he miss? 65? I think it was 60-something.
A lot.
And how many home runs did he hit?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. But the question is not his performance. The question is his health. He's always hurt. That is a question mark. Dominguez has played how many games in the big leagues?
8.
Okay. How many games Austin Wells play in the big leagues?
If I had to guess, about 35.
So is it
around there
in the big leagues?
Yeah.
Wells has been up here that many times?
I mean, he was up here 2 months, yeah.
35 games he's had in the big
I'm
leagues?
guessing. I mean, it could be 28. I mean, it's not like it's 2. I can promise you that.
Either way.
I saw him hit a couple of home runs.
Either way, is it fair to say that those guys are question marks? I mean, they haven't played a combined 50 games.
Yes, I'm going to give you literally, of course.
Okay, so that's it. So health question mark with Judge, question mark on Dominguez and Wells because they haven't played.
But question marks not due to talent. That's where you and I are going.
Know.
No.
Well, not with Judge.
And not with Volpe.
Also,
and not
played
with
19
Dominguez.
games in his career. 19 games.
How many? All right, so 20 games.
Right, so 19,
right.
yeah, 20 games. So 27 games combined for Dominguez and Wells, and they're not question marks? This is all that I'm saying when you actually look at it. Yeah, the potential for Wells is there. Obviously, the potential for Dominguez is there. He was on fire for his 8 games, his 8 robust games. Like that, those are question marks. Soto, no. Health of Judge, yes. Torres, no. Dominguez, Wells, yes. Volpe taking a step forward this year, which I think he will, but it's still a question mark.
I know we got a break. 95 wins, playoffs, and on March 8th, I'm fine with that.
World Series or bust.
Well, let's
Put
get
the
to
big
the
boys'
season.
pants on.
They're always on.
It's World Series.
They're always on. I'm just saying, on March 8th, I got to let a few things develop before, come on.
BT and Sal, the fan will get back to your
Put the
calls on
big
the other
boy
side.
pants
I
on
feel
this
like
guy.
they're always on. More of your calls on the other side.